I gave my friend a fatal dose of heroin and it still haunts me. I did time in jail, I went to therapy, and I sought forgiveness from her family. I worked on myself. I went to rehab. I'm now 6 years sober. I warn the youth about the dangers of drugs. But I still remember that night vividly. Her birthday is coming up and that's when the guilt intensifies. I've thought about suicide before. I took a life and I was a worthless piece of cheesecake, so I deserved to die. I know I didn't cause her addiction. It's possible she would have overdosed without my help. But it doesn't matter because in this reality, I was the one who did it, and I will never not feel guilty about it. I gave my friend the number of my connect and he got high and hanged himself that night. It still haunts me, but I am trying to make living amends. You're doing the same thing by staying sober. That's all you can do. Purple Heart. My 11-year-old daughter's biological mom had some friends over while I was out of town and she overdosed and they left her dead on the floor for my then 3-year-old daughter to find. They didn't call 911 because reasons. My daughter was alone for 24 hours with her dead mother before the neighbors heard her crying and called for help. As bad as that is, through the program over the years I've learned a lot about addiction and learned to truly forgive them in my heart, even though they don't know it, so I can move on. Forgiving myself was a lot harder. There was so much I could have done and didn't, but in the end we forgive but never forget. When I was 17, my best friend and I were partners in crime. One day I wanted to go pick up and he hesitated. He didn't want to. I pestered him until he agreed. He overdosed that night. It's been 11 years since then and I still feel like it's my fault. I feel your pain. Just a tip for those who might be in this situation in the future. A few states in the US have a law that protects you and anybody trying to save someone who just overdosed, even if you took the drugs as well. You can be high as a kite, and still be protected by the law if you took the initiative to save their life.
I had a friend overdose in my bathroom. I didn't know he was using, as did none of my work buddies, but did know he had done H in the past. I kicked in the door and he was purple, not breathing and hadn't been for a while. Gave him mouth to mouth for what seemed like an eternity and in the haste of it, forgot to pinch his nose. Once I did, he came to. In the meantime, we had called 911. Honestly, I didn't give a butternut about any potential trouble this may have gotten any of us into. It was shocking to say the least. One of the best dudes I'll ever know. Sadly, we've grown apart, but last I heard he was doing great. This was very, very traumatic for me. I had my struggles with other drugs and am now 105 days sober. To know, just wanted to get that off my chest, only told a few people about it. Even if your state isn't one of the good ones, call the paramedics immediately. A dope charge ain't coconut compared to a full life.
I have one of you in my life. A young woman bought and helped inject my best friend Jake. He died 6 hours later in the hospital the morning after my birthday party that he left early. She was charged and went to jail and is on probation. I hated her for a long time, but I eventually forgave her. Jake knew what he was doing. He knew the consequences, and he knew he was an addict. I think friends and families need someone to blame because they don't want to admit these things about their loved ones. But what I had to realize is that she loved Jake just as much and now had to live with the guilt forever. I hope she learns to forgive herself one day. Your feelings of guilt are justified, but one day the people in her life will forgive you too. And I hope you forgive yourself. You're sober and trying to stop others from making the same mistakes. That is admirable and I hope you give yourself credit for these things. I stole my dad's car at night to lose my virginity to a chick I had never met. Hi, I'm 20 now, but this happened when I was barely 16. I met this girl on Hot or Not who said she wanted to have her way W me, so I was like, dope, I'm gonna get some good strange for my first time. I decided to meet up W her on a Friday night. I waited for my parents to go to sleep, then snuck out my window with my dad's keys and stole his car to meet this girl I had never met. Earl. Call her on my parents' house phone right before I sneak out to make sure she knows I'm coming over. They took my cell phone at night. So I get there and guess what? She not there. I drive back to the McDonald's down the road from her place and call her using the phone number I had written on my handwritten Google Maps directions. Again, had no cell. She tells me she will be home in 30 minutes, so I wait it out. I go there around 1230 am and she's waiting for me out on the porch. I walk up and I was like, oh cheesecake, she's a lot less attractive than in her pics. But I'm already here and went through this much cheesecake to get here, so cheesecake it, why not? We do the thing while on the floor, and 2 days later I got ringworm on my cheesecake cheek. Also neglected to tell her I was a virgin till I was done smashing. Haven't told anyone except my close guy friends that story. Edit. She had dogs that rubbed their zucchini on the floor and I was unaware, so it gave me ringworm on my zucchini cheeked because she wanted a zucchini on the floor. It was a terrible night but memorable. Edit 2. Wow, thanks guys for the gold and hello up votes. Love y'all. Now this is a confession. A typical young man following his zucchini wherever that zucchini leads him. Ringworm and memories. Now this is an awesome confession. We all do such foolish things when young and zucchini, nothing to do but look back and laugh. Trust me, she knew you were a virgin. Ha ha. 16 years old and parents took your phone at night? That's weird.
Yay, it was pretty bad. And yay, my parents were strict AF.
I've had ringworm on my upper arm before. It was not comfortable at all and itched like a zucchini. I can't imagine going through the day with ringworm on your zucchini cheeks.
Yay dude, I was also in football at the time, so training sucked. Ringworm on my cheek.
When I was in middle school, my friend, Jay, told me that he liked a girl, L. L then told me the next day that she liked Jay, but they both told me not to tell anyone. So I didn't. Lamau. They both bullied me. Fair weather friends no. So Lamau stay single zucchini. I'm playing both sides. True neutral.
Alternatively lawful neutral.
At least now they know to trust you. So you 3 are LBJ. Serves then right. Shoulda just had the balls to tell each other.
Also r/malicious compliance.